well, we're back at it again. I'll be putting some speakers in this beast. I had really good luck with my JBLs. I had it right. In the Ford, I like those a lot, so I went with these. They should be plenty. I'm not putting an amp for the speakers. We're just going to run it off of the regular stereo, but the factory ones are kind of crunchy and meh. And so I got the adapters, which is kind of neat. They just adapt right into the Honda setup where you just slide that in one bolt and hold the speakers in. It's like, all right, let's get started on the rears. So, went up under here, got good access. There's that screw, there's those little clippies that are going to hold the speakers in. So I unplugged them. You can see my subwoofer wire, which is running fantastically. It's like, great, this is going to be a 5-minute job. Let's go see what we got. So I went in here and I popped this out because that was easy. And I'm out trying to pry this out because, you know, that's got to be removable. You know, there's no way that's not removable. And I was struggling with it, and I figured, well, before I break something, let's go look at the damn instructions. It's not removable. Apparently Honda hired the interior designers from the late 90s Fords to design this. So in order to change these speakers out, you have to remove this entire top panel because these are molded in. So I have to pull the whole back seat out again to get this out. But at least I don't have to take the covers off because that's still working good. So we're going to start doing that. I'm going to pull the rest of these headrests off just to make it a little easier, but you got a 10mm bolt down here, the little clips in the front, and you got the screws here to take these side pieces out, and then you got the 2 screws in the bottom, and then this comes out. And then we got to take this panel out, which means pulling the door seals off here, because this panel has to come out. And then there's a bunch of clips in the back underneath that you got to pop loose, and then apparently this whole thing slides out. So that's what we're going to start first. I'm going to start by pulling this bottom seat. And like I said, there's a 10mm snuck up under there, and then a couple of little clippy-doos down here that you got to pull, and the bottom comes out, and then you can start working your way around to the sides, and then to the back, and then to the side panels, and then maybe the top will come out. Then we can do the 5-minute speaker swap and put it all back together. Here we go. Alright, so you got your one little bolt down in there. All right.
Change out the speakers?
Yep, got one little bolt down in here, and then we got these stupid little clips that you got to push down on the seat and pull forward, and it pops out, and the seat comes out. Now we got to get the screws here and over there, and these side pieces come out, so that's what we're going to do now. Alright, so once you get your screws out down there, these just lift up off of these clips and pop out, and now we got a couple of screws, and I think these are 12s, I think. One here and one on the other side, and then this whole thing lifts up and pops out. Alright, now we've been here before. So supposedly now what you got to do is get these seat belts out of there and out of here. And out of here, maybe like that. All right, and then we got to try to pop these panels off. See what we can do. There's one. Have to figure out what the hell that does and how to put it back. Oh wow, there's the airbag. That's interesting. Okay, but you can kind of see that clips in around the bottom. And yeah, okay. We'll pop the other one out. Let's see how this works. It's probably not how that's supposed to work, but oh, that's cute. Okay. It's just pinched together. I guess that's what I should have done rather than yank on it. And now this supposedly, oh, somebody's been here before. This supposedly has some clips in the back that you can free up under the trunk. We will see. Pop that out of there. Oh, yeah, that would have made more sense. Push those in and pop that out without wrecking it. But I think I can do that. But we're going to go try to figure out what's going on in the trunk so we can slide that whole thing forward. Alright, the only thing I can see is these little green buggers here. And they have to be kind of pushed and finagled to get up through that hole without breaking them. And we're going to take a few minutes with two hands and try to do that. You kind of got to crimp the sides in and then push them up. And hopefully they come out, and I think that's what's holding this down. So we'll find out in a minute. And there are two more in the corners also. But yeah, you just got to kind of crimp them and push them up. Just close the pedals and they'll kind of push through the holes. Alright, so those on the side were really annoying, so I grabbed a 5/16 socket and just kind of pushed it up over the thing, and that was able to pop them out to where they all popped up. And I don't know that I see any more. I think they're all loose, so we're gonna hop inside and see what happens. What is this? What do we got here? Okay, yeah, those are right. There's something in the middle here that's not actually happy. Maybe you can see it with this. And we can't. There's something right there. Way far forward. I don't know that I can see that one, but there does seem to be one more of those right there. I don't want to break it if I don't have to. Oh, oh, there it is. If I put the it's up on here. If I put the 5/16 on an extension, I may be able to get up in there and release it. All right, back in a second. There's actually two of them up there, but you can get to them from underneath. And using that 5/16 on an extension, you stick it up in there and it pops, stick it up in there and it pops. Then there is a plug for the third brake light, which this is how you replace it, if that ever fails. But now I think we might be able to get to the easy part. The entire back seat of the car out. Cool. Let's take a look. Yep. There's that one screw. Just take that screw off and the speaker comes out. Super simple. Back in a minute. Alright, and now these, just an 8mm. Try not to scratch my brilliantly tinted window. All Pro Audio did a great job, as always. Cannot believe this car lived in Georgia its whole life and never had any of the glass tinted. This thing was a greenhouse. Another Ford special that comes out tight all the way, except every half a turn. go. And this comes out. That's all there is to it. Not much to it. Do that on the other side. Alright, one thing I noticed about the speakers is that when they're fully mounted into the new adapters, it covers up the hole for the screw, so you kind of, at least from my thinking at this point, need to mount the adapter first, as I have done here, and then put the speaker in it, being real careful to get your screws tight without screwing up your window. So that's what we're trying to do. Alright, there she is. Had to get a little improvisational with the tools to get those back couple. But, yeah. Oh no. Not sure if I'm touching there. We gotta go take a look at that. Alright. So that was touching just a little bit, but there's no way to clock that speaker just enough to get it lined up here. So or here actually. So I just tweaked it out of the way. And now we got the adapter wire hooked up. And now we're just gonna lather, rinse, and repeat on this side. Alright, there they are. All snugged up. I'll wipe off the window, get my horrible fingerprints off of there, and then reverse the procedure. Put this thing back in, put the sides back on, back seat back in, sides of the back seat back in, and the bottom of the back seat back in. And then hopefully we will be good to go. Phew. Yeah. I think the doors may be a little easier because it'll be a little easier to access. But we shall see. Alright, she's all back together. Everything looks good. I don't think I broke anything. I don't have any extra fasteners, which is unusual. So, I'm going to move on to the doors. Now, I took that door apart to do the mirror, so I'm only going to show you one of these because I'm assuming they're the same, but we'll start with this one here because it's got a few more switches than the other one. So, back in a minute. Alright, first thing on this one, a little pick and two hands, but you pull that down and this pops out. And there's a Phillips screw back there. And then I think there it is. Yep. This pops up like that, goes into the back first and then goes down when you install it. That comes out. And unplug all these disasters. And there's another little sneaky Phillips under there. And then you gotta pull it out all the way around and it lifts up and off. And once you've done that, pretty much the same thing. Get in frame, stupid. Good grief. Gotta tend to be, there it is. They're a little sticky. And then you got your little speaker plug, which squeeze the sides and it might disconnect. Anyway, that comes off, and then you reverse the process. Put the new housing on, put the new speaker on, or plug the speaker in, tuck it in, put the speaker on, put everything back together, repeat on the other side. Alright, same drill as the last one. Covers up the screw, so you got to put that on first. I bent the thing a little bit just to clear that plug because it ends up with about the same tweaky interference a little bit. And screw the speaker, plug it in, screw the speaker in. That's what I like, getting these adapters and getting the wiring adapters, especially if you're not running full new like I did on the Ford. It just it makes everything super simple. It just plugs and plays, and it's the only way to go. Spend the extra money if you have to. Sometimes, depending on where you get it, they throw that stuff in. I'm not going to mention because, of course, nobody's a sponsor, but that works out pretty good in the medium run. So I'm going to put the door panel back on, hang it, put the clip this bad boy back in, screws, plugs. This is kind of an interesting plug. It's so aggressive. It actually has a slide lock set up to pull it in, kind of like an engine harness, because it's got like about 8, 12, 25, 30 pins on that thing for all of the functions. So no problems. One thing I did notice is that screw doesn't have to come off. Just figured that out. So let's put that guy back on. Call that a day. That can just stay, which is kind of nice. Cool. Well, back to this. Unscrew, remove, screw it in, plug it in, screw it in, done. There it is. Last one in. Door panel's going to go back on. And we're going to be done with this monster.
The phone has been connected.
Thank you. Yep, that's much brighter, much clearer than the original speakers. So I am very happy with that. I think I'm done with the stereo on this thing because I just need it to commute, but sometimes you got to hear some tunes properly. So anyway, if you ever, this probably affects most Hondas, I would think. So if you got yourself a Honda Civic Hybrid, certainly this is how you change your speakers out, but it's possible that that's going to work on any other Honda Civic, but probably most Hondas, because those adapters are noted as Honda. So anyway, hope you're all having a good day. She's still going. She's getting, I think Monday and Tuesday of this week, I'm going to have my first 700-mile tank out of this thing, which is about a 52 mile per gallon average. And that's taken a little bit of work, but nothing I can't handle. She's running great. So hope you're all having a good day. Talk to you later. Take care.